What's going on, everybody? Hopefully, you're enjoying your weekend. All right, we have a report that just dropped, which basically is detailing some crazy allegations surrounding a free agent player that a lot of us have been talking about. And I wanted to bring it to your attention. If you haven't heard the news already, it did just drop, I want to say less than 24 hours ago. But I want to jump on and kind of talk about it because, again, it does surround a free agent player that a lot of us talked about, and that's Xavier Howard. All right, the top one of the top cornerbacks in free agency, and obviously that's a position of need. That's a position that we may target here in the coming days when mini camp is coming underway next week. And so I want to come up here on here and talk about it because the allegations, they are crazy, And one thing I will throw out there is I am a firm believer you're innocent until proven guilty. So this is just a report. There is allegations that are being placed against him, and so but I want to come on here and kind of talk about it. And before I do, if you can, please like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications. Next giveaway at 4,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button if you want to be included. And let's kind of get into this. All right, let's get into this video and the topic of what I want to talk to you guys about. And that's a Yahoo article. And there's a bunch of articles, but the Yahoo one is the first one I came across. But this report basically states ex-Dolphins cornerback Xavier Howard allegedly shared revenge porn, texted a boy sexual images of his mother. And I'm going to kind of go through this report, and at the end of it, there is something interesting that I want to talk more on. But basically, this is what the report details on. Former All-Pro Miami Dolphins cornerback Xavier Howard allegedly sent a boy sexually explicit images and videos of the boy's mother because she refused to get an abortion. The filing is part of a separate lawsuit filed against Howard in which he allegedly shared sexually explicit videos of another woman repeatedly after the relationship ended. The new filing is requesting that the boy, who was not named and was a minor at the time, be permitted to sue Howard as part of the ongoing case. According to the report, Howard was in a relationship with a woman in 2022 when she got pregnant that fall. According to the filing, Howard demanded that she have an abortion. When she refused, Howard went on a warpath against her, according to the lawsuit. Now, I do remember back in the day when reports were coming out around Xavier Howard and him having some issues with a woman. So I remember kind of some stories about that. He then allegedly sent sexually explicit photos of the woman to her other son, which caused significant emotional distress. The woman would sometimes text Howard from her son's phone, which is why Howard had his number in the first place, according to the report. She said she deleted the messages, then she discovered them, but her son later found them connected through his iCloud account. And so the report just kind of goes on to kind of detail what kind of went down. But then if you go to the very end, right, where it says Howard 30 had 45 total tackles and 1 interception in 13 games last season, his 8th with the Dolphins. He was the first team All-Pro selection in 2020 and has made 4 Pro Bowls. The team released him in March with 3 years left on his contract, who remains a free agent. Neither he nor the team responded to the CBS News for comment. And then if you remember back in the day in 2019, there was an additional report that came out that Miami Dolphins defensive back Xavier Howard arrested on domestic battery charges. And so he's had a couple run-ins now. And, these are definitely things that we want to pay attention to as we go into free agency. Now, again, I will state again, innocent until proven guilty. I do know, and I did a little bit more research on the arrest that he had for domestic battery charges. Those charges were dropped. You don't know really what why the charges were dropped. Was somebody paid out? Did it really happen? Just don't know. But at the end of the day, the charges were dropped. But this is what I'll say is when you have allegations and when you have criminal acts that involved children, that involve women, you have to take that very seriously. You cannot take that lightly whatsoever, because there's going to be a lot of people in this locker room that are going to have a mixed emotions and opinions on that. And I'll tell you right now, we have such a tight-knit locker room right now. I'm hearing nothing but reports that this locker room is ready to rock, that this locker room is on point. And all it takes is for one bad seed. All it takes is for one cancer to enter that locker room, and it starts to peel everything back. And the thing is that Xavier Howard, if we do bring him in, he is going to be a focal point of this defense. He's going to come in to be that number one, number two corner. That's going to be a leader on this defense. And if you bring a leader that has these type of allegations, and again, based on the end of that report, the Dolphins released him with 3 years left on his contract. The question is, why did the Dolphins release him? Did they release him because they knew something was coming up? Did they release him because they didn't want this headache to be in the locker room? Again, that's all speculation on my part. But at the same time, these are things that we need to really think about when we dive into these free agents and who to possibly bring in. And so that's my biggest concern, is you don't want that one bad seed. You don't want that one cancer. And when the allegations stem around, whether it be, again, he had that previously, he was arrested for domestic battery charges against a woman. You could have people in this locker room that have emotions and heavy opinions on stuff like that. And you don't want to bring that into this locker room. Again, innocent until proven guilty, but at the same time, we just don't know what's really going on. So I'm definitely going to pay attention to this. I'm going to track it as much as possible to kind of see, what comes of this. All right. I because there are allegations, and because it is as serious when you talk about dealing with children and women at the same time, it's just a red flag. It's a red flag. And if you have other free agents that are sitting out there that can perform just as well, or have the potential to perform just as good as Xavier Howard, maybe you just kind of skip that name. And that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion on how I feel about the situation. And so one thing to really keep in mind is I do think the Raiders are going to have to move pretty quickly on bringing somebody in. Again, we all talk about bringing in a cornerback. That's one of the top free agent targets that we want to address. Mandatory minicamp starts on June 11th. That's next Tuesday. Typically, you want to see a team bring in somebody of that caliber, somebody that's going to really be a staple in this locker room and help this team move in their direction to possibly win a Super Bowl. You want to bring them in early. You want to bring them before minicamp starts, and so they get acclimated, so they start getting kind of their feet wet with the locker room so that they can hit the ground running day one, and that's June 11th. June 11th on Tuesday is the start of minicamp. And so we're going to have to make some moves. And I want to know what the Raiders are really starting to dive into. So I'm going to start paying attention. I want to see what happens with this report because, again, he is one of the top cornerbacks left in free agency. I dropped a video. There's a couple videos ago of some free agents that I'd like to bring in. My favorite is Stephon Gilmore. I think he'd be a perfect fit for what we need at the cornerback position. But I know that there's a lot of people that were talking about Xavier Howard. And because this report just dropped, I want to know, does that kind of change your mindset? Does it change your mentality on possibly looking at Xavier Howard? So let me know in the comments down below, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Let me know, who you want to bring in as a free agent corner into this locker room to help this defense out, help this team out, help the Las Vegas Raiders get to where we want to go this season. So I appreciate it, guys. Again, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel. Like this video, subscribe, turn on those notifications. My next giveaway is at 4,000 subscribers. I appreciate all you guys viewing. I appreciate your support. And again, have yourself a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next video. I'm out.